Hey, welcome to my off-grid camp in northern Minnesota. Today we're in the sugar bush, but unfortunately the weather got kind of cold this week, so the sap isn't really running. But over the next couple days it's supposed to be in the high 30s to mid 40s, cooling down at night, so that should be perfect for the sap to run in the maple trees. So hopefully by the end of the week we're boiling and making maple syrup. Well, River Dog, what do you think? Should we go check the taps? A couple of the trees have started to run a little bit. Generally they're the trees that are getting more sun. But we've had some cold nights, and you can see the ice that's formed in the bag. Well, one thing I've learned over the years is that the ice that forms in the sap bags, it's pure water. And the stuff that doesn't freeze, well, that's because it has a higher freezing content because it has the sugars in it. So we're gonna leave that water in the bag and keep adding to it. And it's kind of nice because now that big chunk of ice we just took out of there, that's pure water that we don't have to boil off the sap. The concentration of sugars in this water is much higher than if we wouldn't have removed the ice. So it's kind of nice that nature's just doing a little bit of the work for us. This one's got a fair amount of ice in it. It's a lot of water we're not going to have to boil out of there. That's a big chunk of ice. Let's see if that's any sweeter. Oh. It doesn't taste like maple syrup, but it definitely tastes sweet. What a difference that freezing makes. It has a little bit of a maple taste to it though. Just a slight tinge. Over the next few days, I think things are gonna get very busy around here. Welcome to the sugar bush. On this hole here, I drilled it a little bit crooked so the sap is able to run around the spout. So I got some of these metal spouts that are a little bit wider, fatter, and I'm hoping that will plug that up enough where it will start draining out of the tap instead of around the edge. Hopefully. We'll see if that takes care of it or not. Well, we will come back later and check to see if that works. Otherwise, we might have to figure something else out. Well, I bought a plug for this side. Let's see if it fits. That'll be the big question. Uh-oh. That's not good. Guess we're going to town. Yeah, I guess we're going to town. Shoot. All right, finally, the sap is starting to run. Not pouring, but most of the trees that have some sun have started dripping a little bit. So I'm confident that within the next couple days, we're going to be making syrup. Oh, it's a nice sight seeing that sun shining through those blue bags. Means winter is over officially. Bring on the sunshine. I'm going to call today the first day that the sugar bush has officially opened. We only got maybe 1.5 gallons of maple water, but we're going to filter this and put it in the nice cold shed until hopefully we get more tomorrow and maybe start a boil by the next couple days. It's a nice sunny day today and all the house batteries are charged up. So I think I'm going to charge up the Blue Eddy. So the house batteries charge the lights via 12 volt wiring and also to a 2000 watt inverter, which I can run, which I generally charge like tool batteries and my computer and things like that off of. The Blue Eddy I use for the higher drain devices, like I use it mostly for the toaster or usually mostly the toaster, or if the house batteries get a little low for some reason in the winter or whatever, then I'll switch over to the Blue Eddy as a supplemental source. But the Blue Eddy is more of a storage bank where the house batteries are kind of an everyday use and recharge situation. So anyway, since everything is topped off and it's a nice day, we're going to charge up the Blue Eddy. I think I'm down to about 40% on it. So with 300 watts of solar, it takes a while to charge. So we're going to get on that, and hopefully most of the day's sunlight can go to recharging and topping off the Blue Eddy. So all I have to do is just plug in one lead to my positive, and then where's the other one? And then one lead to my negative. Now, if everything is hooked up right, the Blue Eddy should have turned on automatically and began charging. And it did. So it looks like we're only bringing in 80, 75, 80 watts right now, but the sun is behind some clouds, but we're at 33%. It's about just after noon. So we'll see how much we get through the day. I'm guessing we'll get up to about probably only 50, 60% today. So we'll see. Although it's daylight savings, so we'll have an extra hour of daylight. So we'll see how it goes. Fine. Looks like we have a little friend. AKA Blue Jay food. So just for fun, I always put the extra mice on the log. And they always disappear. The camera has shown blue jays. We'll see if we get anything different this time. Well, this one's got a little bit more in it. Still not great. Did you hear that? Grouse just jumped up right over there. I've been hearing them drum. Why am I whispering? They're gone now. But a grouse just jumped up. I thought I heard two of them. I've heard them drumming the last couple days, and I was actually going to try to sneak up on one and try to get you guys some footage of them drumming. It's kind of fun to watch if you can catch them. And those bags look empty. Doggone it. The driveway bags always seem to be a little bit behind the other ones, and I think it's just because they're more shaded maybe. I don't know, but I suppose we got maybe a half a gallon only. Not looking good for the home team. So my son Hunter is off on spring break, and he is going back to the river house for a week. So I'm going to drive back and see him and spend some time with him, because this is his last year in Duluth, and now he will start pharmacy rotations at the Mayo Clinic this summer. So I will not get to see him very often. So the days of me just popping down to Duluth are over because he won't be there. This one's got a little bit in it. This one always does decent for some reason. It's not a big tree, but must be the way the sun hits it or something. Okay, maybe a gallon? Maybe? Gosh, I have so much work to do. And this whole week I've been like kind of messing off. Like this whole week the weather was so nice, I should have gotten so much done. But I've been kind of like screwing off for the last few days. Kind of just doing fun stuff, running and putzing around the yard and ignoring all the projects that I need to get done that I should be working on. I got a few things done on the bunkhouse, but nothing you guys would really notice. Nothing that would be exciting enough to film. All right, we got a little bit in here. All right, I'm gonna go empty the rest of these bags and I will catch you guys when I'm done and we'll take a look at how much we got today. The maple syrup production has not been going well. It's been like in the 50s during the day, which is absolutely unheard of for March in Minnesota. At least this whole winter is unreasonable. But the weather's been in the mid 50s the last couple days. And even though it's been cooling down at night, I don't know if that's like too warm for it to run. I don't know, but we're right at the calendar time of the year when things should just start moving right now. So I'm not giving up hope yet, but my gosh, I've been waiting like a couple weeks now. See, look at that, it's just a little tiny bit from yesterday. Oh, I have a hole in the bag. Are you kidding me? I bet a critter ate that. Yep, hard to collect sap when you got a hole in the bag. I guess we'll have to remedy that. Yeah, just tiny, tiny amounts. Not good. Not good at all. And then you have ones in the sun that are just going gangbusters. This was the third day checking, and I would say our volume went from about 1 gallon to about 3 gallons. So it must be starting, and of course, it's just going to get started when I have to leave for a week. I don't know what to do with this. I'm not going to start the fires. I may just put it on the wood stove and let it reduce naturally. Oh, that's a lot of moisture in the cabin though. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with it yet, but I don't want to start the big evaporators just because I don't want to have to deal with cleaning everything up just for probably a half a pint of syrup. Let me think on that. Or I may let it set overnight and freeze and reduce it by, half. Although it probably won't freeze that hard, but I don't know. Let me do some thinking on it. Well, it took a while, but I believe we got the right part. Try this out for you. Hopefully this doesn't leak. I feel like I need something in here too. Kind of a downspout, maybe like an elbow or something. Anyway, for now, we should be good to go. Oh, and by the way, good morning. Supposed to be another warm one today, up into the 50s, and then it's going to start cooling down the rest of the week into the high 30s. Not a lot of movement on the taps yesterday. We're going to check them now for this. I'm going to check them now this morning and see if we've started yet today. But gosh, I feel like there's so much anticipation and just nothing's happening. So the stuff in the sun, the trees in the sun definitely are a little bit ahead of the ones that are in the shade. So I think we're still just a little bit early. So I'm trying to be patient. So if the taps aren't running today, I think we're back to the bunkhouse and there's a couple projects I can do on that. So. Oh. Anyway, let's try out this pan and see if it's the right size for that evaporator. I haven't even checked yet, so we'll go look together. I mean, I'm sure it's going to work one way or the other. It might not be perfectly sized, but it should do the job. Got the little tapper, so you can just filter it through right from the pan. Nice, I'm excited. See how this goes. You can see how much debris gets in the water. We've got bark, we've got spiders, we've got a moth. Yeah, so we're gonna pre-filter that a couple times along the way just to keep it clean. Got some leftover garbage in there, so we'll wipe that out, and this will be our sap bucket for tomorrow for our collecting, and this will be our... Actually, you know what? This one has a hole in it. So maybe the birds are mad because their seeds are right here and I'm in their way. Maybe we'll wash this one out and use this for the collecting since there's no hole in it. I think we'll do that. Let me get a rag. Get a rag! The nice thing about this shed is there's only one little window on it and it's insulated, so it stays much, much cooler in here from the night. So we're going to store our sap in here until we're ready to boil, just because it's probably, oh my God, it actually feels cold in there where it's starting to feel warm out here. So we're going to keep this door shut and hopefully it stays for at least a day or two before we can get enough sap to boil. But what I might do is I might reduce the volume by about 1/2 to 3/4, and I might use that water as fuel on one of my runs because it has some sugars in it and trace elements, and might give it a shot. See if it works in lieu of just straight water. Give me a little bit of pop for my run, a little energy. Well, maple syrup season is off to a rocky start. It's not running again today, and I need to go back to the river house because my son is coming home from college to visit for a few days. So I'm going to go back there and spend some time with him. But don't worry, because I'll be back next week, and hopefully, fingers crossed, eventually sometime this year we'll make some maple syrup. But I don't know what to think at this point. I think I have to keep reminding myself that in a calendar sense, we're still early, even if the days are getting nice. So I'm going to wrap this week's video up now, and we're just going to call this a stalemate for right now. But don't worry, because we will be back next week with a new video, and hopefully the sap is running then and we can actually make some maple syrup. I don't know. Anyway, love you guys. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next week.